Namaskar, dear devotees and friends. The Wednesday evening, this is our time to read and discuss the Panchama Veda, the Gospel of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. Let us start. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhiriritam kalmashapaham sravana mangalam srimadatatam bhubi grinanti e bhurida janaha. We were reading from that chapter, The Master and Narain, is the English page number 719. Sri Ramakrishna sat with the devotees on the mat on the floor. He was smiling. He said to the devotees, "Please stroke my feet gently." This is very special, Sri Ramakrishna never asked, in a very special occasions only, when why he asked the devotees, particularly the young boys, they were sitting over there, so he asked them to stroke his feet gently. Why, he will explain. They carried out his request. He said to him, the Master Mahashaya, "There is great significance in this." Placing his hand on his heart, the Master said, "If there is anything here, then through this service, the ignorance and illusion of the devotees will be completely destroyed." So that is the reason. He was taking his personal service. He was asking the devotees to do that only to bless them, to grace them. And he said, if there is anything here, then through this service, the ignorance and illusion. What is the ignorance? Ajnana. You know that in Hinduism, this is called ajnana, the ignorance. That is, I am associated with this body, and naturally this I, this me and mine, that goes out and try to get joy from all the objects of this world. And why I can't see the truth? That is because of the illusion of the power of Maya. So ignorance and illusion. My ignorance that I don't understand, I am the divinity myself, I am not this body, I am not this, the bones and the marrows and the blood and all those sorts of things that's called the body. I am not that. I am that eternal purity. I am that love. I am that joy. People don't understand that. They get associated with this body, and with that they go on doing so many things. Why? Because of the illusion. They don't see the right thing. Rather, because of the power of the Maya, as the Vedantin they say, the actual right thing is covered and superimposed by something else. So that is the reason. But if we are serving a great personality, a spiritual personality, then that can go away. That is the reason Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning. Then he said, putting the hand on his chest, that if there is anything here, we will listen to him what is there in the person of Sri Ramakrishna. Who is Sri Ramakrishna? But before that, we will go to that Navoda Bhakti. In the devotional book, they say by 9 ways you can develop your devotion. What are those? Sravana, by hearing. Hearing the words of the Lord again and again and again. And slowly you can develop the devotion for the Supreme Lord. Sravana, by hearing. Kirtana, then going on talking about Him, singing about Him, reciting about Him, remembering Him, kirtana, with great joy. I am taking the name of God with great joy. That is called kirtana. Then smarana. Sravana, first I heard, then I became very happy with that. Then I go out and tell my known people, friends and relatives, have you heard about this? This is a beautiful thing that I have heard from there. So first I hear, then I become happy, I feel attracted to God, then I go out and go on telling about that to the other people. That is called the kirtana. Then smarana. Then instead of going out and telling people and talking, I go inside the mind and go on thinking about it. And when I am thinking, smarana means thinking, remembering, pondering, then I get great joy. What is the attraction? That joy. When I heard about God, what attracted me? When I see many people, millions, they will be reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. So many times they have. But every time, anywhere, any monk, they are reading and explaining, all these devotees, they will be listening. Why? The Sravana, that is also the joy. And that joy they like to have, and that is Sravana. And then after that, when they talk to the friends, they talk about that, the kirtana. Then slowly they become more matured. They don't listen or talk. They only ponder over that, they remember that, and that gives them the great joy. Then the fourth comes pada sevanam. Pada sevana, pada means the feet, and they are going and serving. That means if you can serve physically. You know that sometimes if you go and you'll see the devotees are bathing the God, and the Snana Yatra day, that's a special day. That is the special day that Lord Jagannath, they will be pouring the water and they'll be bathing him. And many of the temples, if they have the deity, they perform that they will be pouring the water and the bathing. And that is also seva. Then they will cook for the God and they will offer it. They will purchase clothing and then offer it. They will go, and sometimes they will go even the God, the picture, or maybe the stone image, they will go and touch, and slowly they will try to serve. And if you go to the North India, whenever they meet a monk, they will press a little the feet of that monk. That is pada sevana. I am bowing down, I am humble, I am surrendering at your feet. That is called pada sevana. And by that, one can develop the devotion, the pada sevana. Lord Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna himself today asking those devotees who were there to serve him. The moment you are touching that holy man, the moment you are serving him, the moment he is feeling happy, all your ignorance, attachment with the body and your ego, all will go away because of the touch. That is the devotion. Archanam, they will be offering the puja and all those. That is called archana. Bandhana. Bandhana means again singing, praising. Dashya, very humble. Shakya, very close to God. I talk to God. I keeping God in confidence. I did it today and I am going to planning this way. They'll be talking with the God. And that is also the Shakya. Shakya means the friendly way. As a friend is always sharing many things with his friend, that way the devotee will share his thought with the God. Then finally comes Atma Nivedana. This Atma Nivedana, then there is no ego at all. I am yours. The Vedantin will say, I am that. The I am that supreme consciousness. And the devotee will say, I am God's. I don't have anything in me. He sees that God within him. Whatever he is talking, as if God is speaking. Whatever he is thinking, whatever he is doing, everything is nothing but God. Yat karoshi, yadasnasi, yajjuhosi, dadasi yat tapassasi kaunteya, tat kurushya madarpanam. That means whatever you do, give it to me and you be free. So, Atma Nivedanam, dedicate yourself at the feet of God. God, everything is yours. All the money, all everything. I don't have anything except this body and mind, which I think it is mine, though wrongly. Even then, whatever I think it is mine, I now offer it at your feet. So when I first came to join as a monastic member of this great order, Ramakrishna Mission, the senior Swamiji under whom I joined this order, he said, what you are going to offer to God today? That was Sri Ramakrishna's the celebration, birthday puja celebration. I told, because I was not very young, so I was wondering what to say. I told, I don't have anything. Maybe I will pluck a few flowers and give. Oh no, that is from the ashrama garden you are plucking. What is yours? I told, I don't know, because I have left everything. I have come. That is your body and mind and ego, your thought, everything you go and prostrate before the God and say, God, this what I am having, I give it to you. So by that way, you lie down at the feet of God and give yourself to God. That is called Atma Nivedana. Of course, externally. Internally, never thinking that I. So that's why Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, we notice that he didn't say, if I am having something, he didn't say that. He placed his hand on his chest, then he said, if there is anything here. So there is no I conception, that is the uniqueness. Now we will listen to that. Master Maharshi is writing, suddenly Sri Ramakrishna became serious, as if about to reveal a secret. Master to aim, Master Sri Ramakrishna to aim. There is no outsider here. Why he was telling like this? Because suddenly some people, without knowing the background, if they listen to this, they may feel, oh, this is the proudness that he is expressing. That's why he was careful that outsiders are not there. That means some people who know him, all those close devotees, regularly visiting, talking with him, spending time, and listen to him, so they know about him. So now he is telling to them, the other day when Harish was with me, I saw Satchidananda came out of this sit. Satchidananda came out. That means it is the Brahman that came out in a form, human form. Satchidananda, that is the epithet of the Brahman. It is very difficult to explain or give any definition of the Brahman, but the rishis, those who realized, they could feel that is existence, knowledge and bliss. These are the three things there, and that is why they proved that because of the existence, source is existence, we also like to exist, we don't like to die. And because the source is knowledge, we like to know many things. And because the source is the bliss, we also want happiness, joy, pleasure. So this is the reason Sat, Chit, Ananda, existence, knowledge and bliss. And they say it came out as if in a form, it took a form. It said, I incarnate myself in every age. That Satchid Ananda, that Brahman, it took the form, came out and declared that I become the incarnation. I thought that I myself was saying these words out of mere fancy. I kept quiet and watched. The something came out from the person of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, and that is Satchid Ananda Sarupa, the Brahman. It declared the I, that supreme consciousness. I take the form and I become incarnate at different time and different places. Sri Ramakrishna first thought, is this my imagination? Then he was watching. It came out of him. So he was watching. Sri Ramakrishna was watching quietly. Again Satchidananda itself spoke and saying, Chaitanya too worshipped Shakti. As because Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna worshipped Shakti, Ma Kali in Dakshineshwar, he was in Dakshineshwar. So naturally he was thinking, if it is the Brahman, then why we should worship the Shakti? Then to refer that, Chaitanya, who was almost 450 years before Sri Ramakrishna, taking his name, that who took the form, the Chaitanya, Satchidananda, said that. The devotees listened to these words in amazement. Some wondered whether God himself was seated before them in the form of Sri Ramakrishna. This some wondered, is one of them is Master Mahashaya. The Master Mahashaya, he could feel that the God himself taking the form of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna sitting before him. The Master paused a moment. Then he said, addressing him, I saw that it is the fullest manifestation of Satchidananda. It's not the part, Amsha, no. Sri Ramakrishna is the fullest manifestation. But this time the divine power is manifested through the glory of Sattva. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna himself, just before his death, his beloved disciple, Swami Vivekananda, he was thinking, this moment when a man is dying, if he can say that he is God, then I will believe. He was just thinking. Immediately Sri Ramakrishna, who could read the minds, immediately replied, O Naren, not addressing others, very particularly to Swami Vivekananda, that did in Naren, O Naren, he who was Rama, he who was Krishna, now at present in this body. That is Sri Ramakrishna. But here he said, in the Sattva, the Sattva, Raja, Tama, in the quality in the Sattva, they can't work. They're full of love and unselfishness. But to work, to command, to ask people, you need little Raja, and that is completely absent. And forget about Tama. No Tama. And all those bad qualities, it was not there in Sri Ramakrishna at all. And even that little ego, who will say, I am asking you to do it, go and do it, no, that is absent. So pure Sattva, and pure Sattva cannot work. The pure gold, with the pure gold you cannot make the jewelry. You have to add something with that, then only it is possible. It's a pure gold. So he said this time it is the Sattva. Why this time? Because at the time of Sri Ramachandra, he took up the bow and arrow, fought with Ravana. So that Raja was there. At the time of Sri Krishna, Raja was there. But at the same, because he was working, though detached, but still performing. And this time in Sri Ramakrishna, it is only love. It is only unselfishness that manifested in his words, in his work, all through his life. So this is Ramakrishna is mentioning. In the Bhagavatam, the other day I was reading, it says at the first skanda, the third chapter, the first verse is mentioned, Jagrihe Purusham Rupam Bhagavan Mahadadivihi Sambhutam Shodasha Kalam Adu Loka Si Srikshaya. Si Srikshaya, that means he is creating. How? Desirous of creating the universe. Desirous of Si Srikshaya. He thought that he will create. Let there be light, and there was light. Sometimes we read in the Bible, just thinking, and there it is there. All-powerful God, whatever he thinks, immediately it happens. So, Sisrikshaya, desire of creating the universe, the omnipotent and omniscient Lord, assumed by his creative will, his own, in own power, what he did? A cosmic form, Virata. He became, that is the Virata is a term in the Sanskrit, that is what cosmic form it took. Not again manifested in a subtle way. The 16, the creative categories like the Mahat Tattva, the cosmic mind, total mind, the cosmic mind, that is called Mahat Tattva. Mahat means great, Tattva means the truth. What is that great truth? The total mind. If the mind is not there, the thought is not there, the activity won't be there. So first is the thought, the mind. Who created of his own power? Why he is creating? He just wished to create that. He wanted, so that much. We cannot go and ask why you have wanted it. No, that is completely blasphemy. It is not possible. And then ahamkara came. What is that ahamkara? The ego, the I sense that everyone is having. I. Me and mine. This is mine, that is yours. This is the ego. I am an educated person. I am a great rich person. I am this, I am that. This is the ego, where from came from God itself. He created that. Otherwise, there won't be any program, there function, activities. So he is creating that also, and the rest. That means all other things. In a subtle way, he first created the Virata, the cosmic thing, everything. And then slowly, the 16 creative categories like the Mahat Tattva and the cosmic mind and so on, and then the Ahamkara and the rest. Then the Supreme Lord described his 23 avatara forms. This is in the Bhagavata in the beginning, the first skanda and the third chapter. And from the one, he goes on telling up to the 24th, 25th, the slokas, the verses, giving the description of 23 times in different forms. He became the incarnation, avataran. He came down out of his own will, not like us. We are taking birth because of our karma, because of our desire. And according to our desire we are, then in this, if you read that Bhagavata, this part, you will find that each and every one he created. And 4 different types of beings are there. So that he created. Then he entered into them. That means he reflected the consciousness in each and every one. And they enjoyed all the objects. Objects were also his creation. Then the subject, the person he will go and enjoy, that also his creation. Then he is the whole universe. Why he created like this? So many, because just to enjoy. but he is not in it. That is the unique thing. How it is possible? Then the Vedantin will tell why you are also creating the world in your dream. When you are dreaming, you are also creating so many things. Whatever you want, you create. Whatever the impression is there in your mind, that through that you are creating. That is the wonderful creation, that you are the creator in your dream. Sometimes you enjoy, sometimes you don't. That is because it is your creation. God also created like that. But in our dream, when we create, we get involved into it. We cannot separate ourselves. But here the uniqueness, the God creates and then he separates himself, and through his own power, that is Maya, that works. So this is the way, and Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is the creator. He created this whole universe. But this time he said, I manifested myself, but it is the pure sattva. That's why I am working through two other people. That is Swami Vivekananda and Ma Sharadamani Devi mainly. You know, he gave his rosary to Ma Sharadamani Devi. And Ma Sharadamani Devi was his wife. But even then, their relation was completely divine. And after the worshipping that mother, the Shodashi Puja, then he offered the rosary, then offered his salutation pranam to mother, and as if the God gave all power to her. And prayed to the Almighty God as if externally give her the purity. What is the purity? Unselfishness and love. Through that, she will help others to understand the truth, so that they go out of this miracle that is going on again and again, constantly. So many, just like the functions going on, we are into that and we are thinking this is the original thing, and so we are sometimes enjoying, sometimes suffering. Go beyond that. Who will help? Mother. And again, he gave the power to that young boy, his disciple, Swami Vivekananda, for another group of people. So these two, that's why in Ramakrishna Mission, wherever you come, you will find Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna in the middle, left hand side, his Shakti, Ma Saradamani Devi, and right hand side, another Swami Vivekananda. Three together always is that complete God, who came in the form of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna to help us to go out of his own Maya, of his own bondage. He came to help us. And then he gave all this through his talk, and that was recorded by one of the householder devotee, Mahendranath Datta, and presented. And now we are reading that, understanding the truth slowly and developing the devotion. So this is how Sri Ramakrishna speaks. The master to him, just now I was saying to the mother, think of it. He was talking with the divine mother, that divine power. Sri Ramakrishna has taken the human form, but at the same time, he is as if connected with that supreme being whom he called as mother. He said, whom you call Brahman, the consciousness, I call mother. So he said over here, just now I was saying to the mother, I cannot talk much. I also said to her, may people's inner consciousness be awakened by only one touch. Friends, those who are, you know the biography of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, this prayer and the way that he did in the 1st January 1886, we are reading the February 1885, exactly 1 year afterwards, the 1st January 1886, Sri Ramakrishna touched, just prayed. He didn't touch. Other people came and touched his holy feet. And immediately whatever was there within their mind, all the prayers and wishes, the dreams, everything was fulfilled. The great power that really came and generated over here, that is Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. This Sri Ramakrishna, here he is mentioning 1 year before to one of his disciples, which he recorded, he is mentioning, just now I was saying to the mother, I cannot talk much. I also said to her, many people's inner consciousness be awakened by only one touch. You see, such is the power of Yoga Maya. Yoga Maya, it is binding and it can also lift the bondage and immediately you are free. What is the freedom and bondage? The notion. When we are thinking that we are humble human being, I have a name, I have a form, I have a family, I have a society, I have a religion, I have a language, then you are becoming a small, and within the cocoon that you made, you live into that. And that is the bondage. And over there, again and again, every time you are taking the form, maybe different form and different times, you are either suffering or enjoying a little, again it's going on. Then a time comes because of the repetition, then you feel, oh, it is enough. That one of the direct disciples of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, the Raja Maharaj, Swami Brahmananda ji, he mentioned like this. See, the repetition, and then a time comes when people understand, no, enough is enough. Now I must go and get myself free from all this. And that is called mumukshuta, the desire to be free. That is mumukshuta. And when we get that, the desire, then we must be sincere and try our best. How? Just by repeating the name of God. The more we are repeating, as I was mentioning, Sravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dasya, Shakyam, Atmanivedanam, the 9 different ways are there, all or one or two. If we apply slowly, our mind is also become completely pure. It is already pure. Only thing, some dust are there. We have to clean those darts. That is desire. Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. That is why we always listen to that, ponder over that, meditate on that. And Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning that by his touch it will be free. That means whose words we are reading? Bhagavan himself, the God himself. And he is giving us the assurance. So this is the way we have to understand. Many people's inner consciousness be awakened by only one touch. You see, such is the power of Yoga Maya that she can cast a spell. She did so in Vrindavan. And that is, your Yoga Maya, the primal power, has a power of attraction. Now, another sentence he is mentioning, I applied that power myself. So that power myself. Who can control Maya? God only, because it is God's power. Indirectly, Sri Ramakrishna is revealing himself. And he is so clear, those who are regularly visiting Sri Ramakrishna, listening to him, they can understand he is nothing but the God, just sitting before. The one person, the 2, 3 of them, they came and they were Brahmin and very methodical. The Vaidhi Bhakti, evening I have to take perform meditation, take the name of God, etc. They call Sandha Puja. They came to Sri Ramakrishna, they were sitting before him, they were talking with him. The moment in the temple, the conch shall blow, and that is the announcement that the evening arati of the god or goddess will begin. Immediately being the Brahman, so they took out their japamala, the counting beads, and started counting the name of God, closing their eyes. Then Sri Ramakrishna was talking to them. He asked, "Hey, what you are doing?" "No, we are doing our Sandha Vandana, the evening prayer we are supposed to do." Sri Ramakrishna, very soft voice, he said, "You need not to do that here. When you have come to God, you are sitting before God, you are talking with God, now you need not to do that here." But those poor people couldn't understand. It needs the purity. Otherwise, it is very difficult to understand. Even if you are in the company of the God, in the incarnation, of the Son of God, if your mind is not pure, you won't be able to see. One of the disciples of Lord Jesus, he asked Jesus, "Can you show us God?" Then Jesus said, "You have seen him." He couldn't understand that. Then he said, "He who has seen the Son has seen the Father." That means you don't have the idea what is God, and you are thinking it should be a miraculous power, that suddenly he will stand before me and the room will be full with light, and there will be conch shells blowing, there will be music, there will be all the divine damsels will come and dance, and that is all imagination you are thinking. God is love. God is purity. God is unselfishness. When you see that manifested within a person, infinite love, can't you understand that he is God? So that Sri Ramakrishna also is mentioning, that here he mentioned with that I applied that power by myself, myself. Just now we were mentioning Jagrihe Paurusham Rupam Bhagavan Mahadadivihi. That Supreme Lord, Jagrihe, out of his own will, Paurusham Rupam, he took a form. And that form he is residing within the heart of each and every one. So that Purusha, Paurusham Rupam, he took that form. And when we imagine that Goddess Durga, now from today Devi Paksha will begin, and after 7 days the great festival of the Hindus, the Goddess Durga will be worshipped. And we want to see the Goddess Durga in 4 hands, sometimes 6 hands, sometimes 10 hands. Same Hindus, they are worshipping Durga, but they make the image sitting on a tiger, the Goddess Durga with 4 hands. But if you go to the eastern part, the southern part, it is like that in Hyderabad and other places. And if you go to the eastern part, the Goddess Durga standing on the lion, and it is not tiger, it is the lion, and she is fighting with the Mahishasura, a demon, and she is having 10 hands. That is different, but all are Durga. And if you go to the western part and the Gujarat and all others, and northern part also, Navaratri, 9 different images of the same Goddess Durga, and they will be worshipping. Same Durga, same power, in different form. Why the forms are different? I wanted to see Mother in that form. I wanted to see the God's power in that form. So I made it. So what is God? When that disciple came to Jesus and said, "Can you show me God?" He immediately replied, "You have seen God." One of the direct disciples of Ma Sharadamani Devi, and he took sannyasa from Swami Vivekananda, a great Swami Birajananda Maharaj, a great name in the Ramakrishna order. So when he took initiation from the mother and he was talking, the young boy, he was talking with the mother and he was telling, "Oh, I am so unfortunate. If I could come a few days before, I could see Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna." Because he passed away 16th August 1886, and maybe after a few years he came. So he was again and again mentioning that, "Oh, if I could come a few years before, I could see Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna." Then mother, as the mother was, very softly, gently she replied, "You have seen him." He couldn't understand. "Have I seen him? How can I?" "No, I was not there. I didn't come that time." The mother again repeated, "You have seen him." Then finally it is a firm voice, "You are seeing him." The mother said, "You are seeing him in the person of the Divine Mother, Ma Sharadamani Devi." As Jesus said, "Those who have seen the Son have seen the Father," same way, same manifestation, those beautiful, wonderful qualities, Shvattik qualities, pure qualities manifested, the same God. So, friends, we have to understand this. Particularly Hindus should understand this, because we have developed so many crores of gods and goddesses. Are we truly having so many crores of gods and goddesses? No. Hindus are very, very intelligent. And about the religion, they are very open. All freedoms are there. And they say only develop those qualities within yourself. And for that, if you want to take any form, any name, any method, no problem. But you should reach to that point where within you there will be pure unselfishness. There will be love for each and every one, and there will be no ego. That is spirituality. Now let us continue. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is mentioning, "I applied that power myself." And the power of God is Maya. One who can apply that is God himself. So this is God. To M, well, do you think that those who come here are realizing anything? He is asking the Master Mahashaya. In many ways, he used to ask Master Mahashaya. Master Mahashaya was really a very holy soul, and immediately he said, "Yes, sir, it must be so." Sri Ramakrishna again, "How do you know?" Then the Master Mahashaya smiling, because as a child, that guileless young boy, he is asking, the God is asking about himself. Does it matter? But no, he is just curious. So the Master Mahashaya is smiling and he said, "Everyone says whoever goes to him doesn't return to the world." Whoever goes to him, to Sri Ramakrishna, doesn't return to the world. That means their mind gets detached, and that is the spirituality. So when our minds are attached with the worldly things, and that is because of the ego, we are attached because of the ego. I want to do it. I want to have it. I want to say it. And if somebody is not agreeing with you, then you are my enemy. You go away, like that. Everything for ego. So Master Mahashaya answered, "Those who goes to him does not return to the world." People say, everyone. Return to the world means they are getting liberation. They are not bound. The Master smiling, Sri Ramakrishna is smiling and giving an example of a guru. to the young devotees, read Bhakti Chaitanya Charitamrita by Trailokya. Trailokya, you know that the devotee, many a times we have read the Trailokya visiting. He wrote a book on Bhagavan Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As because he wrote, Sri Ramakrishna is asking, he wrote nicely, but to understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, many people they write without understanding, just for the writing in that way. Many people just to get the popularity, so the book will be sold and he will get some money and his popularity. But they are not that way sadhakas. Reading their book, you get the information, and it is a very nice reading because they are writers. They put the words in nice way, and that nice reading. But those truly they have did the sadhana, and then they have expressed that, like Saradananda Ji Maharaj. He wrote the biography of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. This is the teachings of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and Kathamrita. And Saradananda Ji Maharaj, a direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, he was the first General Secretary of the Ramakrishna Order. He wrote explaining everything, the biography of Sri Ramakrishna. So many philosophical doubts are there. How can a person be an avatara? He was born here, everything just like normal. How can he say avatara? So he explained what is avatara. So if you are interested to know this great personality, you must read that, The Great Master by Swami Saradananda Ji Maharaj. The Great Master, maybe the English is little old, but the writer is Swami Saradananda. Why? He himself mentioned, I have not written anything here in that book which I have not realized myself. So that is the sadhaka's way of explaining. So, this book, when the Master Masha is recording, and then afterwards he expressed, and that was Ma Sharadamani Devi, Swami Vivekananda, all the direct disciples, and the monastics and lay, all were alive by that time when this was published. And their activities, their names, their presence, as I mentioned, with the date, time, and the place, they all corroborated and said, yes, it is all true. The Master Sri Ramakrishna talked to me in this way, it's correct. So we can understand the historicity and the genuineness of the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, the Kathamrita. So when the master is laughing, then he is telling, he wrote a book. Then since he has written a book and he is a devotee, he comes over here, you are known to him, go and ask for a copy. You need not to purchase, Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning. As because he has written, he will give it to you. And why not? Immediately he is giving an example. He said, see, there's sometimes a farmer has a good crop of melons. He can easily give away 2 or 3. As a watermelon, there is many in number it grow. So if you go and pluck 1 or 2, the farmer won't say anything. You can. In the Kashmir, when you went and we were visiting an apple orchard, and we told that suppose we take 10 or 12 apple, how much it will cost? And then the owner, that Muslim gentleman, he laughed aloud and said, oh man, you need not to pay anything. You cannot carry from here anything, any apple, as maximum as possible you can eat. Whichever you like, go and pluck and eat. So we were a big number, students we went. But still, he was so happy. A lot of the apple everywhere. How much we can eat? 1 or 2 apples? So suppose 50 boys, how many apples? It's nothing. Sri Ramakrishna observed that and he is telling, if the production is more, then there is no problem, we can go. And he is feeling. Then he talked to the Poltu. the Poltu, that young boy, a very pure mind, come here now and then. Poltu said, I shall come whenever I can. And Sri Ramakrishna, will you see me in Calcutta when I go there? So this is way, the missionary way, the keeping in touch. And it needs the young minds, they come, they listen, they like. But if they are detached for a long time, then they will forget. Again they will go to the worldly things. So that is why Sri Ramakrishna, because the young minds, they are not attached with many things, they don't have the bad experience of these worldly things. So if they can turn it towards God, they will realize God very easily. So that's why he wanted to. Poltu, I shall try. When he said, I shall try, the Sri Ramakrishna, that is the answer of a calculating mind. I shall try, I will go, why not? But the young boy, he doesn't know. So he said, immediately, Poltu is replying, if I don't say, I shall try, I may be a liar. Maybe I won't be able to keep the word. Sri Ramakrishna, I don't mind the lies of these boys. They are not free. And to Haripada, why hasn't Mahendra Mukherjee come here lately? He is now inquiring about the devotees. So even today we have seen, and our senior Swamis in the Belur Math, and even we also, though when a devotee is coming, we keep touch with the devotee. We inquire about him. And that is the ministerial way, that we should keep touch with them, pray for them, talk to them. And that is the way, slowly, slowly. Otherwise, why this life? They are giving us food, clothing, shelter. They are all the donations that they are giving for what? For these only. And when they need us to pray, shall we not? If we talk to them, if we pray for them, and that is good. By this way only, the Ma Sharada Mani Devi said to pray to the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, please help these young boys whom you have trained up to be together and develop an organization where they all will be living as a monks. And the householder devotees will come, they will contribute a little so that they can maintain, the monks can maintain their livelihood, and in exchange, the householders will get the benefit of spirituality. So this is the way it goes. But we are not going the sucking the all money, not like that. A little, everyone is, whatever the capacity they are having, they will pay. So this is the modern way of establishing dharma. If you find, you will see that all the time in the very olden days, when the king was there was a rishi as the family guru or a guide or a minister. In the Ramachandra's father Dasharatha was having the great rishi with him and the Vashishta Muni. Why? Now, when you are having the power, the king is having the power, he is having the money power, he is having the muscle power, the manpower. So naturally ego may grow, and if somebody is opposing, immediately, hey, go and cut his head, it could do. Then there should be someone, and very respectable, even the king will never go against his word, and he is completely neutral. That religious person will guide this. So Nistriyasha, and also Nistriyasha, the spirituality, and Abhudaya, the prosperity. That was wonderful balance. In the religious life, that was the unique balance. When this was breaking, then the Lord himself took an avatara. And in the Bhagavata we will find, Lord took the avatara and he killed 21 times those kings who were trying to break this balance, because they became very eager to control everything and naturally it was impossible for them to listen and also to accept any criticism. So who will give the punishment to the king? The Lord himself came and he took up that Parashurama name and form and he punished them. Not that he killed all the Kshatriyas, that is the wrong way, not all the Kshatriyas. Ramachandra's father, he himself was there, and the Parashuram met him. And also the Sita, Ma Sita's father, Janaka, he was also a great sage, at the same time a king. Parashuram met him, but he didn't do anything. So only those kings who were trying to disturb this balance, the two, all the time maintaining these two, spirituality, at the same time the power of the king, the wealth, administration, these two should go side by side. In the modern world, in the modern countries, now the administration and judiciary, they are doing the same thing. The judiciary is trying to maintain that balance, not in the spiritual way, but through the law, but trying to control. If somebody in the administration, the top man, does something wrong, then who is going to control him? The check and balance, that is the system they always say, this is. And in the olden days, they used to do like that. And the time came because of different things that broke. Then afterwards only, once again it is coming back, and Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is trying to bring it back. So all the rich people, they are there, Sri Ramakrishna keeping touch with them. He never wanted to touch even a coin, but he wanted to influence those rich people, guide those people, so that they, with their power, money power, muscle power, and their contact in the society, do good things for their spiritual development and for the development of the society. So he is asking to what happened to him. The Mahendra Mukherjee, why hasn't come? Then Haripada said, I am not quite sure why. Master Mahashaya aims, smiling, he is practicing Jnana Yoga. When those who are practicing Jnana Yoga, naturally, they stop going, visiting the shrine, temple, holy people. It is not necessary as they are going on. So he smiled and said Jnana Yoga. Sri Ramakrishna, no, it is not that. The other day he promised to send me in his carriage to the theatre to see a play about the life of Prahlada. But he didn't send the carriage. Perhaps that is why he doesn't come. So he promised, he couldn't keep the word, so maybe by that. Master Mahashaya, one day I saw Mahima Chakrabarti and I had a talk with him. It seems that Mahendra visits him, Master, but Mahima talks about bhakti. He loves to recite the hymn. What need is there to penance if God is worshipped with love? The Master Mahashaya is smiling and telling, he says that because you make him say it. Because he has memorized many slokas. The Sri Ramakrishna, whenever that person will visit, before others, he will say, can you please recite that? To give him the respect. And he will also feel good that I have memorized all this, the people are listening, that is the reason. Then the Haripada is mentioning, Girish Chandra Ghosh was always talking to the devotees about the Master. Haripada says, Girish Ghosh sees many visions nowadays. After going home from here, he remains absorbed in spiritual moods and sees many things. Here means from Dakshineshwar, from the company of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. Then the Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, that may be true. Coming to the Ganges, one sees many things, boats, sheep, and what not. If the more you are closing to the God, and slowly your mind is becoming pure, any devotee, they will see many wonderful things, the divine things. that Girish Ghosh is having. Girish Ghosh says, from now on, I shall occupy myself only with my work. And like that he is telling. So, he talks about you. Friends, thank you friends. We will stop over here, and in the next time we will discuss right from here, page number 721, so about the Girish we were reading. Is there any question?
So Akshay is asking the first question. Are incarnations constantly aware of their divinity, or sometimes they forget it willingly?
Yeah, very correct. All the time they remember that they are divine, but sometimes they forget willingly, so that they can behave like a human being. Then if you read the biography of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, and in the Gospel also you will find some places, Sri Ramakrishna himself is praying to the Divine Mother, as if he is praying, "Oh Mother, I like to talk to them, I like to visit these people, I like to see those places. Please don't make me jada, don't make me to go into that samadhi. I like to enjoy." So, this is his will only. So, as you are mentioning, willingly, they like to forget that, willingly, correct. Thank you.
Devashish is asking the second question. There are many people who will not remain happy, neither will allow others to stay happy. Always a sense of dissatisfaction. They are not ready to listen to God's word. How do you deal with such persons?
Oh, that is another. Afterwards, here I couldn't reach to that. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is very clear about that. So, this is your life, and you have to, time is also very short, we do not know. So, you have to utilize every moment of your life for the pursuit of God realization. And if something like this it comes, try to pursue them, talk to them, and whatever the responsibility that you are supposed to do, perform that too. But then don't take that in your mind and disturb your routine. So, the first and foremost importance for the God realization, whether others are doing it or not, and what they are doing, and keep little distance, say hello, and whatever responsibility that you are supposed to perform. But within yourself, always pray to God for him or her, and at the same time you go on carrying on your spiritual practices. Thank you.
Bappa is asking the second question. The joy we get in dhyana and japa after reading the gospel and Leela Prasanga, is it helpful or deterrent in God realization?
No. This is very, very helpful. Very helpful. Savana, Kirtana, etc. That's we say it like that. You are listening, you are remembering, and you are getting the joy. That shows that your mind is becoming pure. Otherwise, if you ask any one of your friends, those who are not interested, the mind is more into the world, ask them to read a page from the great master, they won't be able to read that. Oh, this is so boring. No, it is all right. So, since you are getting that, it is evident that you are slowly becoming pure-minded. Thank you.
Vishwarup Ghosh is asking the last question. Leela Prasanga is so difficult to understand the spiritual meaning of this book. Can we read the book? I think he's saying, can you have a class or something?
Now, that is, that Vishwarup, that is slowly if you read, as because you are attending different classes of the different Swamis and then getting things explained by this way, slowly you will understand. There are other books also there, the biography of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, that also that you can read, and then when you know about Sri Ramakrishna, about the philosophy, then you can go to that book. That will also help. Thank you, friends. Let us pray to the Master, and then we conclude. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhakti Bhaktanukampa Dhrita Vigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamidyam Tam Rama Krishnam Shirasa Namamaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Friends, yesterday it was there in India, today it is here. That is, all people, they are remembering their previous, those who have passed away, those ancestors. This is a great thing. And a human is nothing but the Shraddha and Kritagata. The Shraddha, the faith, in the words of the scripture, and the faith in oneself. And Kritagata, anyone, any way, help me. I should not forget that. So these two qualities makes a human a human. So in our society, through a religion, as if they are slowly giving these two into the minds of the human being. Sometimes we don't understand. We think it is a ritual. But through the ritual, if you sincerely do it, slowly your mind will develop. And that mind will be ready to understand spirituality. The Shraddha and Kritagata, these are as if the two legs of a human being standing on that. If we don't have the Shraddha, if we don't have the Kritagata, our ancestors, because of our ancestors we are. So we should be grateful to them. At least once in a year, if we are remembering them, offering them a little water only and nothing else, not much of expenditure. But by doing that, we are purifying ourselves. So now, after a few days, the goddess Durga Puja, the power of God manifested and destroying the demon, all the bad qualities that we are having, that should be removed, and all the good qualities that we should manifest within ourselves and make our life blissful. That is my prayer to the Divine Mother. May you all be happy and enjoy Durga Puja and develop your spiritual power. Thank you.